Hello, everybody, and thank you so much for joining me today. I am so excited that you're here today because I have Steve Kelly of Always Best Care Senior Services with us today. And this is such a huge industry. Everybody knows that there's so much value right now in the senior care industry, and Always Best Care provides non-medical compassionate home care to their clients. And it's such a fantastic area, such a fantastic industry to be in right now. So Steve, thank you so much for joining us. And can we start off by just talking a little bit about the senior care services industry in general, and just the potential in it right now?
For sure. Good morning, Natalie, and thanks for having me today. Yeah, I think we have a multi-decade growth opportunity in home care as we look forward. I tend to think about three big trends that are going to be drivers, as I say, for quite a period. The first is obviously demographics. The baby boomers have driven everything for the last kind of 50 years, and as they turn 65, the demographic growth is going to be compelling. By 2028 in Canada, those aged 65 and over are going to be 22% of the population. You think about that, that's 1 in 5. That's a very big number. So, the growth in the senior care in the senior population is going to drive demand. The second big one is aging in place, and maybe we can touch on this a little bit later, but in COVID times, I think everyone has realized that perhaps the best place to, age would be in your home. So I think people are rethinking in terms of, where they want to live as they age, and aging in place. I think a lot of people are choosing their home. And then the final big driver would be the shift of healthcare to the home. Study after study has shown that you get better health outcomes with people at home. There's less infection complications, and you can get more focused and targeted care. So, in summary, you've got the demographics, you got aging in place, and then you got the shift of healthcare to the home that are going to be, as I say, a multi-decade driver for home care. So, yeah, I mean, I think it's a great business to be in at this point in time.
No, that's fantastic. And you're right, there's just so much opportunity, and that demand is just going to keep growing. Can you share with us a little bit about why you chose Always Best Care versus some other senior care opportunities out there?
Sure. Might be a little bit of a long-winded answer here, but for me personally, I was a corporate guy for 30 years. I was in the banking industry, and like a lot of us, we get restructured, and I got restructured. I had a good run, and it was time to do something different. And for my second and hopefully last career, I was looking for something with purpose. I wanted to put a smile on people's face. I wanted to be kind of, right at my client's doorstep, and, see what a difference I could make in their life. So, certainly home care, met those criteria in terms of what I was looking for. And then if I looked at the demand growth drivers that I just described, you put the two together. So, the desire to have purpose in my life, and also what I think is a great business opportunity for, given the macro demand growth. I, did a lot of work on home care. I was fortunate enough to come across Always Best Care. Always Best Care started in '96 down in California. They started franchising in 2007, and now they have over 200 franchises in 35 states, and they're looking to expand to Canada. And I thought it was a great opportunity, so I ended up buying the master franchise rights for Ontario. And yeah, we're looking to grow in Ontario. We're looking to sell franchises, and give what the seniors are going to require throughout Ontario. So I had the purpose that I was looking for. It was in a great industry. I was fortunate enough to find a brand that was coming to Canada, to Ontario. That was a good opportunity. And then I did extensive due diligence with regards to the management team. I mean, I did chat with a number of other home care brands, and these guys just felt good. I think they were in the business for the right purpose. I think their hearts are in the right place. It's all about getting, the right care, and doing what's right for the family. And I just thought that, what, these are guys I want to deal with, I want to work with, where the culture is going to be very supportive of myself and, the franchisees throughout the system. So for me, it's been a great decision, and very happy so far.
Yeah, that's fantastic. And what I really respect about you is you are the Ontario Master Franchisee, but you also started your own location, right? So you know firsthand exactly what a franchisee needs to do in order to be successful, which is really great. And you're learning all the. Well, I think one thing with senior care that scares some people sometimes is the legality side. And you and I chatted before about this, and you actually said, it hasn't been it's not as scary as a lot of people think it is.
No, that's exactly right, Natalie. I mean, I'm from a financial background, and I had no healthcare training, and being able to manage to jump in, and yeah, so I really wanted to get my hands dirty from the bottom up. I really wanted to understand this business, so it was important to me to open the first franchise. I mean, I've lived in Oakville for 30 years, so I opened a franchise in Oakville, and so far it's executing ahead of my business plan. So I couldn't be happier with how it's growing. But yeah, I've learned it from the bottom up. I understand all the different government regulations that are out there, which surprisingly are quite minimal. In terms of the registration requirements and regulations. Now, we've got a bunch of policies and procedures in place, and we ensure that we do everything correctly. But the entry is perhaps easier than people would expect. I mean, what you really need is, again, that purpose, that empathy, that compassion. If you want to help people, then the home care business is a great business for you. But at any rate, yeah, jumped in and got the franchise growing. And in all honesty, I've been spending 95% of my time, developing the first unit franchise, and 5% of my time on the master, because I want to make sure I know this business inside out. And with future franchisees, I will have walked in their footsteps. I will have, kind of went down that path. I will have, blazed the trail for those that come from behind me, and, be able to help them, quickly launch and, get this thing as mature as fast as possible. So yes, I think my background in terms of starting the unit is going to be very beneficial. And the other thing that I'd point out is, boots on the ground in Ontario as well. A lot of the other brands, they're not kind of headquartered in Ontario. A lot of the brands are kind of US transplants type of thing. But, this way you'll have a master on the ground located in the GTA, who's here and will have done it. It's not like you're being supported out of the States or, out of somewhere else in Canada. It's, close to home. And I think that's an important advantage that, Always Best Care can bring to new franchisees.
Absolutely. And I always tell my clients that, having a master franchisee in the place that they're living is huge, because then how it works in Ontario, not just in the US, for example. So that's fantastic. Okay, last question, and I'll let you go. How has your industry been impacted by COVID?
Well, it's interesting. Initially, when COVID hit, business did turn down a little bit. I think people, kind of stopped here a little bit, but then I think people realized that, well, maybe, for those who were thinking about moving to a congregate setting, a retirement home or long-term care, it's like, maybe I should stay at home. So, as a result, May and April of last year were a little bit slow, but then things kicked into overdrive. And, so the Always Best Care system down in the States last year actually had double-digit revenue growth. And year to date, I think they're at 9% revenue growth for the system. So I think COVID, surprisingly, has been overall good for healthcare, as people realize that yeah, I want to stay in my home, and I can get great care provided here, and I'm with my neighbors, I'm with my family, and yeah, I want to stay. So as I suggested before, that aging in place, I think, has been certainly reinforced by COVID, and certainly the financial metrics have been quite supportive in terms of how people have reacted to COVID. So yeah, I think COVID, somewhat surprisingly, has ended up being pretty good for our business, and it certainly has reinforced how kind of recession resistant, perhaps pandemic resistant the business is, which, kind of great characteristics to have. So.
Yeah, absolutely. That's fantastic. Thank you so much, Steve, for being here and for educating us a little bit about the senior care industry and, of course, about Always Best Care. You are a pleasure to talk to you, a wealth of information, and I'm excited to get some candidates your way. So if you think this might be a good opportunity for you or somebody you know, please reach out, and I will be happy to connect you to Steve. Thank you so much, Steve.
Thanks very much, Natalie. Thanks for having me today.
You have a great day, everybody.
Thanks.